So, when my grandfather and father heard the two shots, they finished up on the hides they had, just bundled them, threw them together, headed straight for the cabin. When they got to the cabin, they saw his mother's horse, lathered up, shaking, and standing in front of the little paddock gate, wanting in really badly. So they tossed the hides down, they put the horse in the paddock, they grabbed the mule, because they had a pack mule, and Grandpa went and grabbed 4 more boxes of shells because he was afraid she was surrounded by wolves. So he grabbed another rifle, and Dad and him put Dad on the mule, headed out to where she was. Took him another half hour, 30 minutes, 40 minutes maybe to get to where she was. And initially they didn't realize what was going on, because as they came into the area, the horses started like not wanting to go forward. The mule, she wanted to still move a bit more. So they led the mule in, then followed the horse. So they walked in the last couple of 100 yards. And they noticed the shadows of the things around in the trees, but they couldn't get a good look at any of them. And his wife was laying there at the edge of the clearing where she'd been trying to check a trap for a cougar, but evidently something had realized she'd set a trap, and they set a trap right next to the trap she'd set for her. And she hadn't removed the spike. She was afraid she was going to bleed out. So they kept having problems with these things coming at them. Grandpa cut some poles to make travois, and Dad, with his mother, held them off, kept firing so they retreat, and got her on the travois. And they started their way home. Well, it took them, he said it was maybe 2 miles before these things stopped bothering them. And they were about 7 or 10 miles out, so it took a good almost 2 hours to get her home moving slow. And once they finally got back to the cabin, they were able to remove the spike, and Grandpa set her hip bracket and boarded her back and put a board, tied a board across her hips to keep them in place so they'd heal. Took her about 6 months to knit up well enough she could stand to get out of there. And in that length of time, they had to endure repeated attacks upon their cabin. Within the first month, they couldn't go out and do any kind of trapping anymore. His father stopped trapping entirely by into January the 1923. February, they were still able to hunt. These things wouldn't be there all the time. They'd be gone for a couple of days, and then they'd come back for a couple of days. They'd throw stuff at them. They tried to disassemble their cabin, I think, the second month of this onslaught. So they burned their cabin. They built it up with dirt all around it to keep it safe.